Today I'm going to walk the Cheshire Lines path from Southport to Aintree across the flat peatlands of West Lancashire. It's a 15-mile route following the former track bed of the Cheshire Lines Extension Railway. My starting point is the old Southport Lord Street Station. The station opened in 1884 but closed to passengers in 1952. It was then sold to the Liverpool bus company, who operated it as a station. Later it became a supermarket and more recently a travel lodge. I'm now behind the front of the building in the Morrison's car park, and we can see on the old map that this is where the station buildings would have been. Now from here I'm going to follow the line of the old path around, and we're going to head to Palace Station. I'm now walking down the esplanade towards the seafront, and I assume the track bed would have once run very close to here. Well, I've made my way down to the beach and I'm at the start of the Trans Pennine Trail, unmistakably marked by this obelisk, and I'll be following the trail for some of my journey today. Indeed, shown on the map is Aintree, which is my destination for today. Well, this first stretch along the front is easy walking, but I believe the track bed, looking at the map, ran over there to the left on the other side of the sand dunes. Not far from this roundabout I'm standing on would have been Brookdale Palace Station, so named after the Palace Hotel, which was once over in front of me but has now long since been demolished. Well, the next waymark is the old Ainsdale Beach railway station. In Victorian times, Southport was a very popular holiday resort, and there were no less than 4 different railway lines terminating in Southport. I've just completed over 4 miles of my journey today, and I'm now at what would have been Ainsdale Beach Station. Here it's shown on the map as Seaside Station, and there's some cottages here, Cheshire Lines cottages, and I believe that these houses here are the Cheshire Lines cottages. And there's pontins on the right there, but we carry straight on. The next old station on my list to visit is Woodville. Well, I think this is the first time I've actually seen Cheshire Lines path mentioned. I've seen the ones for Trans Pennine Trail, but it's about at this point here was Woodville Station. Looks to be quite a few houses around, but looking at the late 19th century map, we see an area of farmland. Well, I've just crossed over the junction and we get another sign. Well, this next bit is it's a bit strange. The old track bed, I think, carries straight on over this grassland in front with the horses, but we've got to follow this lane around to the left and kind of make a detour before we get back onto the track bed, and I think this is called Plex Moss Lane. Well, there's an information board here with a bit of information on about the Trans Pennine Trail and how in West Lancashire the trail uses the route of the old Cheshire Lines railway to provide facilities for walkers, cyclists and horse riders for 8 kilometres across the Lancashire plain. Here you get a good view of how flat the landscape is, and I think once this area would have been underwater, but in the 18th and 19th centuries the land was drained, and I think this would be a drainage channel for the land. I'll finish my little detour now and I'm back on the track bed, but I assume the track bed would have run down towards the farm down there. Why or why that isn't a public right of way, I don't know. Next stop is at Moss Bridge Station. This is a bit tight. Oh, we're now approaching the site of the old Moss Bridge Station. Well, that bridge there must be the Moss Lane above, and it looks like on the map the station would have been around here somewhere. Just can't see any evidence of it at all, but here on the map I think that's the bridge there, and you've got the station here somewhere on the right. I've just done over 8 miles and the next station is Altcar and Hillhouse. It does make you wonder what these stations were used for, because even now there's nothing here. The bridge on my left, I think that was for an old goods line which came in and joined the Cheshire Lines Railway. I think it must have been at this point. I can't see any evidence. There's plenty of bluebells. Assume it's here. Barton Spur. I just think past this bridge ahead we'll be at the old Altcar and Hillhouse station. Well, again, I don't see any evidence of a platform. Well, here's Altcar and Hillhouse station on the old map, and there's some railway cottages shown as well. I've just been up the bank, but I don't see any evidence of them. And this is a map of the Barton Spur coming in to join the main line. Our next stop is the old station at Lydiate. Well, I've come to a small car park here at the end of the road, and this is where the old station was, I think, just here. So you have the station there, shows some railway cottages there, so let's just see if we can see the railway cottages. I think these must be the old railway cottages, which are now modernised. I've now done 11.5 miles and the next station is Sefton and Maghull. I'm now approaching the old Sefton and Maghull station. Again, there's no evidence of a station platform here, and I assume that that's Sefton Lane that I'm going to cross shortly. And I think from here on into Aintree, I'll leave the track bed now because it's either been built on or roads are on it. Well, after a little look around, I find these stones here, and these could be what remain of the platform. Well, I'm in an urban area now, and the old railway line track bed must have run to my right on the industrial estate. Right, I may be just joining the track bed for a very short distance before we leave it again. I've got a suspicion that the track bed carried on ahead, whereas we're going right now, and we're leaving it and making our way to Aintree. Well, from Maghull I've made my way to this road, which is actually more recent than my Ordnance Survey map. as it's not shown on it. Well, this road is shown on the map. This is the 5207. Well, here I joined the Leeds Liverpool Canal. Well, this information board does have a bit of a map on it, not to great detail, but I've come down here. That was the little car park at Lydia. Followed it down here. I'm actually here, and I'm going to join the canal and then follow it to Aintree. Well, I've just clocked 15 miles. I can't have much more than a mile to go before I get to Aintree. It's been a flat but long walk today. Pleasant weather. I've seen a lot of people cycling this route, and it probably makes a really good cycle path for the cyclists who are interested. I also saw a few horse riders as well, but I'll be glad to get to Aintree and get on a train and find somewhere to have a drink. Right, it's time to leave the canal, get onto the main road, turn right. After walking past the retail park, I now turn off the road to the right to head round the back towards the station. Well, we've arrived at Aintree station, and there's the Aintree racecourse over to my right, because I'm now going to get a train back to Southport. The line I'll be using to get back to Southport, I'll have to head in towards Liverpool and then change and then come back out again, but I'll be using the Liverpool, Blackburn and Accrington line. This was the old Cheshire Lines railway, and the Aintree station for Cheshire Lines wasn't here. It was just a bit further over to the right, to the other side of the bridge.